This video is for Unit M2 for CCEA, January 2020. Question 1 says, Stan wants to buy a camera with a resolution of at least 20 megapixels. So what I've done here is just circled the numbers that are 20 or more on this one, on this column. A weight under 500 grams, so I've circled under 500 grams in that column. Write down the names of 2 cameras that he could buy. As you can see at the top one, it's got both are circled here. So we've got 10 and 10. Then we've got Olympia OM, which is circled twice here. And these are the 2 answers for question 1. So question 2, it says the pie chart shows the proportion of households in the UK in 2017 that own dogs. The number of households in each country is also shown. So you can see England, Northern Ireland, Scotland and Wales. What percentage of households in England own at least one dog? So we go up to England and we can see the black section there is a quarter. Now to change that to a percentage as a quarter is 25%. So we've got 25% would be the answer there, as it is a quarter. So question B, about what fraction of households in Wales own at least one dog? You can see there, this black one in the Wales pie chart, you can put 3 of those in that circle, so this one is about a third. For question C, it says 3/8 of the households in Northern Ireland own at least one dog. How many households is this? So if we go back to Northern Ireland there, it says 800,000 households. So that just means that we have to work out 3/8 of 800,000, which is 300,000 households. So 3 friends were asked to which country in the UK has the most households owning dogs. You'll find that England has far more households. So Rebecca was right because more households had dogs. For question 3, it says below are some of Denzel's school exam results. English 13 of 20, Maths 46 over 50, Science 7 out of 10 and LLW 21 out of 25. Write Denzel's English result as a percentage. So what you do is you take the fraction of 13 over 20 and just times it with 100. This times them by 100 will change this fraction into a percentage. So the answer to that one is 65%. For question B, it says put his results in order, starting with his highest result. You must show all your working. So for this one, I've laid out English, Math, Science and LLW and put the relevant fractions underneath this. So there's many ways of doing this. But for this one, I've used percentages. So for each fraction we have here, all we do is just times it with 100, just like question A, and we change it to a percentage. So it would be 65% for English, Maths is 92, Science is 70, and LLW is 84. And then we can start comparing which is the highest and which is the lowest. So as you can see that 46 over 50 would be the highest, because it's 92%. So that one would be placed there. The next one is 21 out of 25 because 84 is the next lowest. Then 7 out of 10 and then 13 out of 20. For question 4, it says, what is the value of the digit 4 and the number 3.04? Circle the correct answer. So if we lay out 3.04, we can put it in columns. So that's your units, that's your tenths column after the decimal point, and the second number after the decimal point is your hundredths column. As you can see, that's 4 over 100 would be the answer to this one. 4 hundredths. So Question B is put these decimals in order of size, starting with the smallest. So for this one, if you're not too confident in your decimals, you can actually add zeros at the end of it to make everything 3 decimal places. This makes it a little bit easier to find which is the smallest and which is the biggest. As you can see here, it's 3.024 out of all of those would be the smallest. Next one would be 3.100, which then we use our original values, which is 3.1. 3.124, so we use our original values, which is still 3.124, and 3.24 would be the biggest decimal there. So for question 5, it says Kiara bought 4 burgers. She paid with a £20 note and got £6 change. How much did each burger cost? So the first step would be to find out how much the burgers cost in total. We do that by taking £20, take away £6, which means that which we have is £14. Because it was 4 burgers, we can find out how much each burger costs by doing 14 divided by 4, which then becomes £3.50. So each burger costs £3.50. So for question 6, it's got a quadrilateral here, and it says measure the length of the line BC in millimetres. BC, we just take a ruler and we measure this line. So it would probably be 8.4 centimetres, which then in your ruler would probably show up as 84 millimetres there. So measure the size of angle CDA. We get a protractor and we measure this angle here. And when it's measured, it should be at about 116 degrees. For question 7, it says insert the correct symbol in each box below. So the one on the left, the inequality on the left is less than. The inequality in the middle there is greater than. And then we have equals. So for these questions, like question A, we can see the units are different. So it's millimetres and centimetres. So we have to change them into the same units and then compare. So 375 millimetres can be changed to 37.5 centimetres. And when we look at both of these are both equal. So we put equal signs in between those. And then question B is 600 grams and 6 kilograms. So we've changed 6 kilograms to 6,000 grams. So we have the same units. And we can find that 600 grams is less than 6,000 grams. For question C, it's 27 litres and 26,900 millilitres. So in this one, I've changed millilitres into litres, which is 26.9 litres. So if we compared that, and you would see that 27 litres is bigger than 26.9, so 27 is greater than 26.9 litres. So for question D, we have 310 minutes and we have 5 hours. So I've converted 5 hours into 300 minutes by multiplying 5 times 60. And when we compare it, 310 and 300, 310 is greater than 300. So for question 8, it says the dual bar chart shows how many apples and oranges were sold in a fruit shop last week. So the dark colour is apples, the lighter colour is oranges. The owner says, I sold 50 more oranges than apples last week. So what we do is we add all the dark bars up and we find out that the apples are 380. Then we add all the oranges up and we find out that it's 420. So what we're doing is we just take those numbers away and we find out that oranges, there's 40 more oranges than there is apples. And as the question said, I sold 50 more oranges than apples last week. Is he correct? The answer is no, because 40 more were sold. Okay, for this one, question 9, it said 8,500 tickets for a concert are sold. The organisers think that 40% of the ticket holders will turn up more than an hour before the start. How many ticket holders will this be? To find this out, we just do 40% of 8,500. So 8,500 multiplied by 40 over 100, which then should equal 3,400. So this is how many ticket holders will turn up more than an hour before the start. For question 10, it's got silver side costs £4.90 per kilogram, top side costs £5.75 per kilogram, fillet costs £13 per kilogram. Martin buys 4.5 kilograms of fillet. He also buys some silver side. The total cost is £92.31. How much silver side does he buy? So to begin with, we do 4.5 times 13. So that's 4.5 kilograms of fillet times £13 per kilogram. So we're multiplying those two together, which then becomes £58.50. So this is the total cost for the fillet. We take this total cost for the fillet and we take it away from the total cost, which is £92.31. Once that's taken away, it should be £33.81. Okay, so we use this £33.81 and we divide it with £4.90 as the silver side costs £4.90 per kilogram. The answer to this is 6.9 kilograms. For question 11a, calculate the value of 2 over 0.4 squared. So for this one, I've done 0.4 squared to begin with. So that would become 0.16. Just key it into a calculator for that. Then you would key this into a calculator, 2 divided by 0.16, which is 12.5. For question B, it says calculate the cube of 6. So the cube of 6 is just 6 cubed. So you key that into a calculator. You can either key that in as it is, or you could just do 6 times 6 times 6, which would be 216. For question C, prime numbers. So we're looking for prime numbers that are in this list here. We find out that prime numbers are 19 and 31. Just remember, 1 is not a prime number, and any prime number can be divisible by itself and 1. So only has 2 factors. Out of all those numbers, 19 has 2 factors and 31 has 2 factors, both 1 and itself. So for question C2, we're looking for square numbers. So that just means 1 times 1, 2 times 2, 3 times 3, and so on. So for this one, 36 is a square number. That's 6 times 6. 1 is a square number, that's 1 times 1. And 49 is a square number because that is 7 times 7.